I think I can actually do ASMR with my setup. I have another microphone here. Where is it? Here we go. I moved it. I think I can do like, I have another microphone that is basically, does this work? I have no idea. Does this now? Oh yeah, we have two of them. So I can use these as like a single setup. And I think I can split them to be dual channel. Test, test. I don't know how though. Oh, now I've muted one. Test. I should probably not be doing this live because I'm gonna fuck it up. Oh, no, I don't want to know about that. What the... All right, Gabe. Gabe is the expert, yes. We need a little bit of Black Templar. Oh, dude, this is Black Templar. That's why it's covering so poorly. I was wondering why it looked different on the stone. It looks fine now, but I did multiple coats of it. It's because it's Black Templar. I picked the wrong black. I want to tidy up the tabard. I want to make it darker. It's a very tiny little section, man. I'm gonna have to recover some of these little parts now. Fixing mistakes, fixing mistakes, fixing mistakes. Any mini project's endgame. Fixing mistakes that you make while trying to fix other mistakes. Is my camera going out of focus more? Okay. I'll have to retidy up some of the gold or some of the brass rather. Also, actually, let me check real quick if my YouTube video is done rendering. It is done rendering. I need to upload this thing. Let me see. Cyril versus Maru. Maru. I think that's how you pronounce it. I know some commentators say Maru. Best of 5 series of StarCraft 2 between Cyril, Zerg, and Maru, Terran. What the hell do I do as a title? Always dangerous. Always difficult. All right, 10-minute upload. I feel like Cyril versus Maru doesn't need much clickbait. Maru. Cyril versus Maru clickbaits itself. Tidying up all of the brassy bits. There's tiny little prongs on the large orbs. And I think I have to paint those in as well with the brass color. There we go. Yep. He's gonna, yeah, he's got some shiny orbs now. And I also did most of the base. We're really doing the finishing touches at this point. I think I'm going to do a little bit of a Necron photo shoot after the stream today. Do any more of the brassy bits need to clean up? I've already rubbed off some of the black. Nicely done. A Necron photo shoot. If I varnish a Necron, I'm thinking about varnishing because I've never really varnished anything. Would you varnish it with gloss? I guess you would varnish it with gloss, right? Hey, nice, Mueller. It depends on the finish. Yeah, but I'm thinking the metallics. Yeah, exactly. The metallics would get dull if you do a matte varnish. I'm not sure though. I think honestly I should only varnish like the rim. I feel like I always rub the paint off the rim. Is it weird to only varnish the rim? I feel like that's a little strange, but... yeah. I should rim the varnish instead? I don't know about that. I mean, now that I have an airbrush, it's relatively easy to varnish. Yeah, I did get one. That's why I'm considering it. I don't know. I don't know. I always kind of feel like if I varnish it, there's a chance it's going to look much worse. You can always paint the sprue the colors you use and a varnish with a different one. Yeah, that's true. If you have bits, you could try how it looks. What is the general rule of thumb? Okay, let me ask it like that. General rule of thumb for varnishing metallics. What do most people do? Is there such a thing as a general rule of thumb? Why does this remind you of a Dark Templar? I think the Necrons have been around for a really long time, Light Switch. Maybe the StarCraft 2 units were inspired by it instead. Okay, Mueller, I see. Yeah, that makes sense. That's what I've been doing for the most part, for things I have varnished. I'm not sure what the Necron varnishing build order is. Thank you, Pig. Personally, I think satin would keep most of the shine. Matte might be nice for the base, and gloss for the energy crystals. Yeah, I think I'm not gonna varnish it instead. I think I'm gonna try and varnish the rim, and see if that prevents the paint from rubbing off. I generally don't varnish anything, but I have some matte varnish over here. Yeah, I don't know, I don't have a satin varnish. I know that's like kind of the third option. I have a glossy one and then a matte one. I'm a varnish noob though, so I'm a little... I've not really looked into it. Yeah, we're into rare Lowko television territory. We can do some experimentation on the rim, I guess. I'm assuming this would help with it hardening out a little bit more. So this is just varnish. Nothing fancy. Well, since I don't use them as play pieces, right? They're not part of a game. They just kind of they kind of just sit on a shelf. So we're not actually... They're not really doing anything after I'm done with them, if that makes sense. Yeah, exactly. I think for playing it would make a ton of sense. What else is there to do, guys? I think this is about it. I've got to add a couple of tufts. We got to add the tiniest little bit of grass. There's not a lot of place where I can even put grass. I could like do an extra layer of the green stuff on the tiny little scarabs on the base. I dry brushed some of that away. There we go. Necrons don't need grass. Well, that's true, but he's standing on a planet, right? That's the idea anyways. Oh, there's a couple of tiny little spots that I wanted to finish on the cape. So I accidentally spilled some of the metallics onto the cape, which scares me a little bit. I'm gonna need some opaque paints in order to cover it up. The only problem is I don't have the correct colors. So let me see. This is a very dark green. I don't know if you can see that. In a couple of these tiny little, what are they, like rectangle things? There's a little bit of the silver paint hanging out. I don't have any room. I'm gonna try and paint in some of the tiny little marks. Yeah, I don't have a display cabinet at the moment. Maybe I should get one at some point. It'll help with dusting for sure. I just want it to not be obvious, you know? So I have to overpaint the entire rectangle, or whatever it is. That actually is not bad. That worked out really well. Yeah, we have texture paint on the base, so it's a little hard to see maybe. I will add some tufts, some basic grass. Dun, dun, dun. I want to try and paint a tiny little line on one of the prongs on the top of the staff. This is kind of a difficult angle though. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. Same over here. At the bottom. Okay. A little bit of grass and I think he's done, guys. I have a couple of little tufts. I actually, I put it all together in a nice little box. I put my fake grass in a little box. I'm thinking the tiniest ones I can find, man. We have little flowers. I think the flowers are super cool. But I don't think they're going to be very useful here. I think I'm just going to go with the tiniest little ones. I thought I had little white flowers too. Where are the white flowers? Okay, I don't know. I tidied all of this up. I didn't find my white flowers. It looks like a bacteria farm. You're not wrong. So these are cool though, because they're like they're self-adhesive, right? So you don't actually have to add any glue or whatever. Can kind of just stick a little bit of grass, just like that. I don't know what the platform he's standing on, like the discs, are supposed to be, but I think little green bits are kind of nice. It's a bit too large. I kind of want a smaller one. Yep. Gotta pick some of the tiny ones. That's what she said? It's a bit too large. I prefer the tinier ones? Oh. I don't know if that's a flex. It could be a flex. Gamer grass is cool, yeah. That's the brand name of the grass. They sell other things as well these days, like different basic materials and stuff. It's kind of cool. I'm gonna dab a little bit of Agrax around it. I think that's it. I don't really need any more than that.
Low party.
Yo, Yuna, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you for the 47 months. Okay. Is that it? Anything else? I'm thinking maybe a tiny little bit of recess shading. Just gonna drip a little bit of non-oil in the back of some of these dark parts. Because for example over here, I don't even know if this is visible on stream, but we don't have as much shading in that spot. So that should settle quite well in those recesses. Kind of like it in the darkest areas. All right. All right. Some white highlights on the green. I did some edge highlighting with some very light green. Maybe I could do like a brighter edge highlight on some of the green parts. I'm never quite happy with the weapon on this guy though, I have noticed. Seems like the 17 colors of green are kind of difficult. What's going on, Sojourn? Not a bad suggestion, that's for sure. Thank you very much, man. Welcome. You're catching me as I'm about to wrap this little project up and head offline, but I will be back again later this week. Probably not tomorrow. I've been painting miniatures since February, so about a half year now. Not a super long time. Let me just look at the box art real quick. Yeah, I've seen your nickname in the chat before. Unless there's an imposter. You got into Warhammer like 2 to 3 years ago due to a coworker? Nice. Thank you, Zeratul. I have painted loads of other things in the past though, like a regular canvas painting, but I think I need to stop touching the blade. Because I'm fairly sure if I'm going to keep going, it's going to get worse. I did some Bob Ross painting, yeah. A little bit of that. That was pretty fun. I mean, I used to paint quite a bit when I was a kid, I guess. I haven't really painted much as an adult, but it's been My dad used to paint a lot, so I kind of tagged along. I did follow along with a couple of Bob Ross videos, yeah. How are the piano lessons going? I mean, I was following along with piano lessons online. Keyword was. Mini painting has kind of taken over. But I'll get back to like piano play, I'm sure, at some point. We never got a piano stream. I'm not that good, dude. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna stop touching it. Okay, one more tiny little touch. Now the problem I was running into with piano is that like, I didn't really enjoy reading notes all too much. So what I would start doing is look at specific songs that like you can kind of play and then follow along with tutorials and stuff. And then once I learned the song, I was like, now what? You know, I'm not really following a methodology, I guess. So it's like you play a song, you learn the song, you develop the muscle memory, yeah. And then when you're finished with that song, you're like, okay, now what? It's not the best way to play an instrument. I think you kind of have to do it every day a little bit. All right, guys. Here we go. I think this is my very first Necron. Done. I am, yeah, pretty happy with how this guy turned out. Imotekh the Stormlord. A lot of metallic paints. A lot of new techniques I've never used before. And I think he turned out pretty good. There's still a couple little parts that are drying at the moment. But this guy is tiny though. Like if I put my thumb right next to him, you know, like this guy, not even the size of my thumb. So he's pretty small. So obviously a lot of the painting you usually do about this close to the miniature, right? I do have big thumbs, that's true, yeah. Anyways, now a lot of the painting you do very up close to a mini, and sometimes it's easy to get too carried away with all of the tiny little details, but I think this turned out pretty well. Yeah, nice, GG.